Hi everyone, my name is May Park. Welcome to another video tutorial on my YouTube channel and my blog. Today I'm going to show you how to create a watercolor card with heat embossed floral background. For today's project, I'm going to use the floral background stamp and Eiffel Tower die from Florals. I used an older and retired background stamp, but you could use this same idea with many different stamps. I'll be using Canson XL watercolor paper, and I'm cutting down my watercolor paper larger than A2 card size using Timo's paper trimmer. Recently, I bought the original Misty stamping tool, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to remove the paper pad so I can mount my cling stamp. I'm placing my watercolor paper over the foam pad inside the Misty stamping tool, and I'm using 3 magnets to hold my paper in place. I'm prepping my paper surface with EK Success embossing powder tool to remove any moisture and static and oils. This step helps prevent any stray powder from sticking to unwanted areas. I'm going to ink up my background stamp with birthmark watermark ink and stamp it on the paper. I'm going to apply some Florals white embossing powder over the paper and tap off the excess. I'm using my small paintbrush and paper piercing tool to flick away any stray powder. I'm going to preheat my embossing gun for about 10 seconds until it reaches its maximum temperature. Then I'll heat set the images with my heat gun until they are completely melted. I'm going to cool down my paper for a few seconds to avoid smearing the embossing. I'll be taping down my watercolor paper on the chipboard sheet using washi tape. This will help prevent my paper from warping while watercoloring. Before we move on to the watercoloring, I'm going to search it for the color scheme for my floral background image on Pinterest. If you type flower illustration in the search bar on Google or Pinterest, tons of beautiful images will show up. I'm not going to follow the exact colors from the image I found, but I'll be using it as a starting point when I choose the colors. If you want to do some serious shading on your coloring project, having a reference image is very useful as it gives you an idea where you should color light or dark. It's now time for watercoloring. I'm going to use the Mijello Mission Gold 36 watercolors and round paintbrush size 2. You can get a different result by wetting your paper with water first before you apply watercolors. However, I'm going to use the dry surface watercolor wash technique in this video. I'm going to create a gentle gradient by starting with the intense colors first with less water and then using a paintbrush wet with clean water to diffuse the color. I'm applying pigment toward the bottom of my flower petal. Then I'm cleaning my paintbrush and remove the excess water with paper towel. Next, I'm going to go over the paint with water to spread the color and smooth the edge. While the color of paint is still wet, I'm going to add more pigment for darker hue to add dimension and shading. I'm going to repeat the same process until I watercolor entire image. If you make a mistake with your watercoloring, you can fix it by adding some clean water on the paper and picking up the colors with a paper towel or paintbrush. I found that cold pressed watercolor paper is easier to clean up the mess compared to hot pressed watercolor paper. Now I'm going to speed up the process and turn on some music so you can watch me color. I'll be back once I'm done watercoloring. I'm changing my paintbrush to size 10 as I'm going to create a watercolor wash background. I'm simply wetting my paintbrush with water and paint and moving the brush across the paper. I'm not going to worry about filling the entire areas because leaving some white space on the background is look beautiful as well. I'm done with watercoloring and I'm going to set aside my watercolor panel for a few minutes to make sure that everything is dry before I move on. Then I'm going to peel up the washi tape and remove my watercolor panel from the chipboard paper. I'm going to cut down my watercolor panel into 4¼ by 5½ inch using Timot's tonic paper trimmer. I often say this in my videos, but I have to say it again. This trimmer cut my paper like butter. I've tried a few paper trimmers, but tonic paper trimmer is the best. I will place my Eiffel Tower die and secure it in the center of my watercolor panel using washi tape so that it don't move while die cutting. After placing my paper between cutting plates, I will running the die through my Spellbinder's platinum die cut machine. I'm going to mount the negative side of my die cut on the A2 side top folding card using double-sided tape. Then I'm going to inlay my Eiffel Tower die cut to my watercolor panel. I'm double mounting my die cut using 3M foam tape to give some extra dimension. To finish off my card, I'm going to use the Love Stamp and Cut from Florals. I'll be running the love die through my Spellbinder's die cut machine. I die cut a few different words as well to see which one goes with my card design better. Then I decide to go with the love die cut in black and mount 2 die cuts together to make it thick. I'm adding my die cut word using a 2-way glue pen and black foam squares. That's all for today. If you have any questions, please leave comments below and I'd be happy to answer them for you. I hope this video tutorial inspires you to create a card with heat embossing and watercoloring. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time with another video. Bye bye!